We have not been recording this entire time. So we're going to run through EA real quick. We'll get to Microsoft real quick. So welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. Take 2. We're going to go through the E3 conferences that have happened over the last couple of days. We're not going to be able to get to Nintendo. I'm going to be out of town. Patrick is already out of town because he abandoned me.
I can tell you, Nintendo, look, Wii U games. Here you go.
And a surprise coming to 3DS.
At least one.
At least one. So in EA, they talked a lot about sports and about wanting to do stories in sports.
Which I really appreciate. I feel like the story aspects, if you're playing single player,
yeah,
it gives you a little something extra. It gives you some story, some motivation other than... If you're playing single player in Madden, it's essentially play a game. Play a game.
Play another game, yeah.
Play a game.
Well, I mean, there's like...
There's like coach mode and some other stuff like that.
Yeah, there's different things that they can do. But this was first introduced in the NBA game, and then it went to FIFA, and now it's come to Madden.
Yeah.
And so, apparently it's popular, and that's really cool, because like, the sports version of Kevin, I think, is really excited about this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where he is.
That alternate dimension Kevin
right.
is super excited. What I am curious about, what I was thinking was, are they going to incorporate some of the college football games in there then as well? It's going to have some of the licensed college stuff? Because they said you're like making your way into NFL, which to me would indicate you're playing through college.
At least a year, theoretically.
Yeah, so you don't have minor league football like we do for baseball that you could use.
Right.
I'd be interested by that, yeah.
Yeah, that could be very interesting. So yeah, sports, your sports story is apparently EA's thing now.
Yeah.
They also talked about Anthem a little bit, which is kind of a third-person, more open-world Destiny type thing. It
looks like it might be really good. It looks like it's much more story focused.
It might be very good.
Yes,
that is.
That's my Chris stamp of approval. It might be very good.
Yeah. Need for Speed Payback though does look really good.
That looks fantastic.
It feels like they're bringing some more of like the Burnout elements, because they showed like a slow motion takedown, and I had flashbacks to Revenge, and yeah, like, you know, back when Burnout existed and was good.
Good old days. And I'm pretty sure, I want to go back and look to see if I was right, but I thought I saw, though, they're talking about heists as well. Kind of like a Fast and Furious style where you're doing some high-speed robberies on the road.
I saw him doing something against a truck, which
I think that's
made
what that
me
was.
kind of twitchy, you know, because I drive one of those.
It's okay, Kevin.
But I don't think I'm carrying anything that important, so it's probably fine.
They're after the Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, that...
Tony the Tiger's after you.
That would be Tony the Tiger driving like some like souped up sports car with flames coming out the back.
I'd pay to watch that.
I'd pay to watch that. I don't want to be involved in it though. Like, that's the important thing for me here.
Yeah, as long as you don't have the Lucky Charms.
Yeah. So they also showed us a new look at Battlefront 2. They mostly focused on the multiplayer, which is not really something that...
No, but that is the bread and butter. We know that.
Right, and that's what's going to keep them going.
Yeah, that's the sustainability to it. I like that they'll include in what appears to be a very serious single player though.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how long it's going to be. We're going to presume it's going to be decent until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
And back to the also multiplayer related, but I believe that they're doing all DLC for free.
Yes, all the multiplayer DLC is going to be free, and I don't mind playing for single player DLC, because it's like you're giving me a new story, new something to play. If you're just pushing out, you know, more costumes or whatever, I don't want to pay for that.
Now get Boba Fett's armor in 3 colors.
Yep. Okay, hot pink Boba Fett though.
Okay,
I will take that.
Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so next up we had the Microsoft conference, which they went hard into games, and I really appreciate it.
Eventually they did. They Xbox One X launched everything off.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of maybe overkill on specs, which those a segment of the audience which really appreciates going through all the specs and talk about the processor and the liquid cooling and how many nanos they have within the processor and how it was used in the Cyberdyne system to take down the global... Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, not that.
Not that one.
Not that last bit. Forget that last part.
Price point, though, is a little bit of a sticking point for me. I appreciate that as a good value for what's in the box. I really do understand that. But as someone who already has an Xbox One, and I even have a 4K TV, I still can't quite justify it because they didn't show me enough exclusive games for at this point.
I really feel like Crackdown is gonna be the one that
might sell
that proves it.
Yeah,
because early in development, and I think this is why it went away for a while. Because early in development, they were talking about how the cloud was going to process everything for you, and it makes the city even more blow upable.
Yeah, and I think they realized when they took that cloud computing away that either we got to scale back what we did, or we have to wait and do it on a different platform. And I guess for they locked down the sense that they have to wait 7-8 years for new platforms. So they've got this one in the middle, which looks like it could do what they wanted it to do.
I think it'll be really interesting to see. Excuse me. I think it'll be really interesting to see how Crackdown performs on a regular Xbox One. I think that'll be
the telling moment.
Telling.
Yeah, I think so too. Once again, to be honest, though, Crackdown's not my game, so I appreciate it, but I'll take...
I like Crackdown because they're not giving me Infamous anymore.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
It's run around the city with a couple of superpowers. Like transportation is a lot less fun in Crackdown, but I feel like the rest of it is very similar. You get to just run around and create havoc.
And the name was out of my head, but you could also just play the Saints one.
Yeah,
the last port four was
but I don't want to be president.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so the Darwin project is something that they showed us, and it's a co-op game by the people who did Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I played a little bit of, and it was not fun, but it was interesting.
And that's how I feel about this one. It looks like an interesting concept.
Yeah, and I appreciate when they're expanding what games can be.
They're pushing the ideas, and hopefully someone else will take that idea and maybe develop it a little bit further.
Yeah.
It is couch co-op, so Patrick, there you go. Patrick Whitney. They made this game for you.
Yeah. Metro Exodus looks like a slower, more jump scary version. It kind of looks like a mix between Fallout 4 and Dead Space.
See, I was also thinking, names are escaping me today, Insomniac FPS PS3 era. The alternative World War II. No, alternative World War II. London invaded by aliens.
Resistance.
Yes.
That wasn't Insomniac. That was...
No, that's Insomniac.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, there's definitely something there.
Yeah. It looks pretty, especially once they got outside.
I really liked once they got outside, and I also really enjoyed the variety of weapons.
Yeah, that
he was able to use, and the environmental kills.
Yeah,
I love environmental kills.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. I had not played much of the other ones, to be honest. I don't know. They could have had environmental kills in the other ones. I just didn't know about it. The series is well received and gets pretty high praise, so I'm sure this is going to be following that same tradition. Yeah.
And then we had Battlefield 1 in the Name of the Tsar, which I really wish that they had been able to transition from Battlefront to Battlefield 2 with some type of Tsar Wars transition. That just would have been fun.
That they missed the
but
opportunity.
They didn't. And if they had just hired me as a consultant, I could have made that happen for the world. But I didn't because they didn't.
I am excited to see some single player DLC for Battlefield 1. They also have, if you're into multiplayer, they have lots of multiplayer DLC, some new maps, some new night maps, I believe they said, some new day maps as well, I presume. Yeah, presumption.
In theory.
Yeah, but it's going to be really interesting to see. Once again, I wanted to look into this, but I'd read someplace that one of the protagonists will be a female lead, which will be interesting.
Okay.
If that is indeed true.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about Rasputin.
Yeah, okay, if you're gonna do the Eastern Front and you're gonna talk about Russia and World War One, you gotta have Rasputin in there. That his interactions with the royal family, with the Tsar and his family, and Alexandria and Peter and that whole thing is really a fascinating period of history. I also like the variety in the uniforms because like they were basically sending peasants out to die from Russia. And so
World War One still had character. Like each country had a sort of like national pride in their uniforms.
Yeah. And whether or not it was functional, that's an entirely
you don't need to worry about that. It's whatever looked cool, man.
Yeah. So leaving reality behind, we'll check out State of Decay 2, which is coming spring 2018.
It's another zombie game.
It's one of the better zombie games.
It is. People liked it.
Yeah.
It's just
another zombie game.
It's another zombie game.
Yeah.
I
kind of feel the same way about PlayStation's
Days Gone.
Is that what it's called?
That's what I'm gonna call it.
Okay, it's Days Gone. That's it. It does look very similar to that, and it's like I've done zombies. I'm done.
We'll
with
find
zombies.
out when we get to the Sony notes.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
But yeah, it looks like it'll be interesting if you're into that.
Yeah, I think it's more about the interactions that you have with other people.
I think so. It's more of a social zombie game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Going from zombies to creepers.
Yes.
Minecraft is they're going to unify everything except for the Sony. Sony's going to still have the PlayStation ones on their servers, but like the iPads and the Androids and the Switch and the Xbox and the PC are all going to be under the same umbrella, the same servers.
Which is a really good move, and I feel like
and ambitious too.
It is, and I think this is something that could not have happened if it had been bought by Microsoft. I feel like you need the guy who developed it did a great job.
Yeah,
but I think he got as far as he could with the resources he had.
Yeah,
Microsoft has the money. Might not be the most innovative, but they have the technical resources and the sway
and the infrastructure already in place.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they have that kind of ability.
Yeah,
and that's something that Notch and his team would have had to kind of build from the ground up.
Yeah, and this would not have been fundamentally possible, I think. Well, again, throw enough money at a problem.
We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know these things.
Yeah. Enough money will solve anything, but you know.
And then we finally got a release date for Cuphead, which Cuphead.
It's been a long time coming.
It really has.
They showed not very much, which I appreciate, because I feel like we've seen enough of this game over the past.
Yeah, they showed
years,
they showed a lot of the same stuff that they had shown before. Yeah. They did have a bit more of like the level bits.
Yeah.
Which originally it was just going to be bosses, and then it was going to be bosses and a little bit of levels, and I feel like they've been fleshing out levels, and I think that's where the extra work has gone.
Yeah.
And that looks fun.
My understanding was that the reason why it was delayed was because they decided to put in those platform bits, which they showed, I think it was last year's E3 is when they really began to show that.
Yeah. And
then they realized we need a little bit more time for this because the bosses were probably at this point still flushed out because that's all they've been focusing on for years.
Yeah. Yeah. And then...
September 29th, I don't know if we actually said the date.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, it's coming to Steam, so you don't have to buy it on the Windows Store. Yeah. Which is good because nobody wants to buy it on the Windows Store. Life is Strange is getting a prequel. It's called Life is Strange Before the Storm, and it's going to follow Chloe, the girl, the blue-haired girl, and but she's not going to be voiced by Ashley Birch.
Yeah,
there's a
little sad.
SAG something strike going on right now, and so Ashley Birch was not available to record Chloe, which is unfortunate because she did really, really well in the first one.
I think I actually would have prematurely saying this because we don't know who they got to do it. But I would have been fine if they just delayed the game 6-9 months until the strike was over, and they could have got her in to do the voice recording. But
Yeah.
I also understand it's business. It's Squaresoft. I think, to be honest, with Squaresoft's high expectations for success, I'm just happy we're getting something.
Yeah, they set the bar. I'm sorry, that's still on screen. The bar's down here below the screen. So yeah, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which
beautiful.
Ori and the Blind Forest is such a I think that's the prettiest Xbox exclusive game.
Oh, easily.
So far, because it's whimsical, it's gorgeous, and Will of the Wisps
so much atmosphere.
Yeah, and Will of the Wisps looks like it's continuing in that, and it's so pretty.
It looks fantastic. That is actually one of the few games. Once again, I'm not going to buy the Xbox One X for that, but that's one of the ones I imagine with the HDR specifically, I think would look fantastic because they obviously spend a lot of time with the art direction with these games, and really make a really unique style that's just jaw dropping.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Shadow of War, we have a release date for that, October 10th. I really hope that game does well. It looks like more Shadow of Mordor, which I'm perfectly okay with, and they threw some other stuff in there, and I'll play that too. But Shadow of Mordor was so good. I played the crap out of that game.
I'm a little worried about the timing. Because October, I think, is getting close to the busy season.
There's so much coming out in October.
And Lord of the Rings doesn't carry the same weight as it necessarily used to. But also, the fourth game did really good, so it's already got that base it can build upon.
Yeah.
What do you think of
everybody knows Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't love it?
All right. So...
what do you think of it looks like the building on, we can build a recruit some of the enemies for your side, looks like in the trailer?
I don't know. I'm not watching.
Okay.
Because I already know I'm gonna buy the game.
Didn't mean to spoil that for you.
I don't want to. I've heard that there's like a building thing, and like you kind of create your own troops and stuff.
Yeah, but it looks like it's a little bit of a military build up. We'll see how that goes. I'm curious how they'll use that, because some games do that well, some games don't. I feel like they'll do it well.
I mean, I'm just gonna go out and kill everything. So I don't really need an army. I am the army.
One man. We got a release date for Tacoma finally, which is in August.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. I don't want to know anything else about it.
And it's another game that's coming to Steam.
Yep.
A lot of the Xbox One exclusives are also coming to Steam, which I'm happy for. Because
I feel like they have to, because the Windows Store, they gave it a good go, but I think Microsoft just came to the realization that it's not going to compete with Steam, and if they want to make money, they just need to work with Steam and just just live with it. Yeah, they still have the Windows Store. Nothing wrong with that,
and they can keep building that, keep developing it. Cool, do that. But don't try to force it, and so I think that it's a lot better for them. They can do sales, or they can do specials or bonuses or things like that, and they can try to figure out how to take care of themselves on that front.
Exactly.
But putting the game on Steam allows more people to see it, and more people are going to buy it that way, because that's how Steam works.
Especially now that, since one of the core principles is that any first party exclusive is also available on Windows 10. If they really want to push that, they came to the realization that Steam is where the people are at, and if you want that, that's the way you go. I'm glad they're doing that.
Much larger audience.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about Anthem. There were more details on that at the Microsoft thing, but I feel like we kind of covered that.
I think so.
Okay. Xbox One now plays Xbox One, the other one that we used to.
Xbox backwards compatibility.
Xbox
double back. I like that.
Xbox.
Oh, they missed it once again. Double back.
Xbox double back. That's how we're gonna call it on our chat.
I am really intrigued by this, because Xbox 360 played some Xbox original games.
Right.
Xbox One, I think I'll do 350-ish Xbox 360 games.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not expecting them to bring all the original Xbox games or even close to that amount. But I think if you hit the 100, 150 key ones, Crimson Skies is the one they mentioned, so that one for sure will get in. Hopefully, maybe Knights of the Old Republic, maybe some of the Oddworld games. They had Oddworld games specifically for the Xbox, I believe, or was that the 360?
I think it started on original Xbox.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like most of those have been remastered and brought up though.
Yeah, but there's one that port 3. I can't. Monk's Odyssey, something like that.
Okay. So there are some gems, and I hope that they focus on those instead of just.
Yeah, I think we'll have this slight benefit though. Well, there wasn't a lot of digital. Because right now, a good chunk of the Xbox 360 is backwards compatible or digital marketplace games. With nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But those weren't necessarily the ones people were hoping for.
Yeah.
Those they didn't have that really for the most part on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And the Xbox original.
I think they might have done this just to make us stumble over the Xbox One original Xbox.
Someone's laughing at us right now.
It's Phil. Phil's laughing at us.
Yeah, screw
and that's
you.
okay. That's okay.
We got the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Origins, which looks
it's
pretty.
Yeah.
It looks like they took a couple years and maybe did a new engine, maybe or something.
Yeah. We'll see how
it actually plays.
How it play? Yeah, because like for me, it's all about the movement and about running up on light poles and stumbling into people. I can't. But this does look interesting. It was also
you run into pyramids instead this time though, so
right.
That'll be a lot less obvious.
It was interesting because they brought in instead of because like with in that time period in Egypt, you're not going to have high buildings.
Yeah,
and you can't swan dive off a pyramid because it's at an angle.
It's a pyramid.
And
yes,
you're just gonna.
Well, you could, but it'd be really painful.
Yeah, and
unless you do like the Christmas Vacation, you swan dive and you have the sled, you ride down the pyramid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but since they couldn't get Chevy Chase into Assassin's Creed, they decided to do. They brought in the owl eagle scouting.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, it was in Far Cry Primal.
Yeah,
and it worked really well there. And so,
and so natural, I feel like, for the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, and so there's an element of magic to it, which has always been kind of underneath a lot of the elements that they bring to that. But yeah, basically, whatever surprises they had, except for actually showing the gameplay, had already leaked like months ago. So there weren't really too big of surprises, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and it looks like the time that they took off really paid off.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that comes out, and like you said, if they manage to fix the motion, maybe I'll play it.
Yeah, exactly.
So Crackdown 3. We talked a little bit about Crackdown 3. Okay.
The opening.
Now I'm so much more excited about it because I love anything that Terry Crews does. Terry Crews is wonderful.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
And I still hope to see him as Doomfist in Overwatch someday. Yeah. But in the meantime, I am totally about watching Terry Crews completely wreck a city.
That opening to the trailer, the first, I don't know, 20 seconds, it was pretty awesome. It was worth watching by itself. Crackdown 3, I think you said this is the game that, for the masses, could potentially show what the Xbox One X, that by itself is a tongue twister. Thanks, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Can do.
Scorpio sounded so cool.
It did, actually.
Like,
granted, that's the name of the processor, apparently. So, at least they kept it someplace.
Why did they have to... Change it. You had a good name. You had a good thing going.
Well, Apple has to name their phones S's and stuff to know which changes all, so they had to do it too.
Yeah. But hey, they gave us Terry Crews, and I'm excited about Terry Crews.
Yeah, like I said before, it's not necessarily a game I would necessarily pick up to play.
Yeah.
But maybe Black Friday special, something like that.
Yeah,
might pick it up.
Why not?
Yeah.
So that's going to launch the same day as the Xbox One X.
Yep.
And so we'll see how that turns out. That game, sometimes when a game takes forever to make, it actually shows. Like, Doom took forever to make, and it came out, and it was beautiful. It was fun. It was wonderful.
It was better than you would have ever thought it could have been.
Far better than expected. And then you have other games like Final Fantasy 15. So while a long development cycle and a potentially troubled reset cycle can be problematic, other times that just allows them to come up with something that would not have been possible previously.
I really agree with you that the fact that they had to do with the cloud computing really have made them stop and think what they wanted to do. And the logical thing might be, well, just wait a couple of years, because obviously internally they knew this was at least a potential possibility of coming out.
Yeah. So we'll see how that comes out when it comes out.
Yep.
Okay, so Black Desert Online was a big MMO PC game for a while.
It was huge for a brief period.
The only thing I ever heard people talking about was the character creator. Apparently, the character creator is a lot of fun, which was actually how I played City of Heroes. Like, I made a dozen different heroes and played one of them for a couple of hours.
As long as you can make your bug face guy, you should be happy.
No, that's a Nintendo exclusive.
Oh, my bad. It looks nice. It looks pretty. I'm not an MMO guy.
Yeah. And
I do believe that this is something Microsoft might be okay on Microsoft, because Microsoft Xbox One doesn't have a lot of MMOs. You got Final Fantasy 14, which I presume is on. It's not.
It's not.
Oh, really?
No, it's
they
not.
They got it on the 360, but they couldn't get it on the Xbox One? Or was that 11
no,
I'm thinking of?
The 360 had 11. And that was a really big deal at the time.
Yep.
But yeah, they
don't have any
Final Fantasy
MMOs
14.
really. Do they? Is
Strife?
It might be.
I think that's
Elder
actually
Scrolls?
a MOBA.
Maybe, possibly. Tell us, internet. Is it on though? If so,
In the
how
comments
is it?
below. Yeah.
But this is something. It is a niche that console doesn't have. I'm not convinced that Microsoft's audience is the MMO type audience, but we'll find out.
So that's coming, and then Super Lucky's Tale, which was originally a VR title about Palmer Luckey, because that guy is so popular on the internet. But yeah, it's a platforming thing, and it's one of the VR games that is not first person. And I thought that it was really interesting that they pushed this, because Microsoft is still on the sidelines as far as VR is concerned, and I don't know if that's ever going away, which is really interesting.
It's funny, I was watching that trailer, I didn't actually know what it was, and I was like, did someone make a Psycho Fox sequel? And which I immediately just aged myself, because I'm probably the only person who played that on the Sega Master System.
Yeah,
but
I can sit here and smile and nod, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
And it looks like an N64 platform collectathon style game, which, if that's your thing, great. But didn't we just get one of those like 2 weeks ago? Whatever.
I don't know. But yeah, so I think it'll be interesting to see how many VR games come from VR to not, because Sony had a couple of those too.
Yeah, they did.
And then Bethesda went the other way, which we'll talk about here in just a second.
And then we had Forza Motorsport 7, which is coming in October.
Yeah.
Specifically for the Xbox One X, I think is why that's coming out in October.
Yeah.
That and Gran Turismo. But
yeah.
So
that's they're alternating, going back and forth between the regular main line and then the Horizons.
Yeah.
And then
it looks pretty.
It looks very pretty.
And they revealed a brand new actual Porsche on stage for those of you who enjoyed that. I know my wife went crazy over it. We're never going to buy one, so let her look at it on TV, I guess.
Yeah, you can have it as a wallpaper.
Exactly. Yeah, it does look very pretty. It's definitely going to be, I think, the other title that's going to really show off the Xbox One X capability.
Mm-hmm.
Because racing games are a very easy
racing games are a great spectacle because and like I was telling you during the conference earlier, racing games are one of the few games that I actually enjoy watching more than playing because I'm not great at driving. I'm great at driving in real life.
I'm good at driving in real life, and if
less,
I have
less so at 170 miles an hour.
Unless I have blue shells and green shells and red shells to throw it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm completely down with weaponized racing.
Weaponized racing, I'm all about.
But strangely, that hasn't come to Forza yet.
Not in real life for that.
Get on.
Just to clarify for Texas drivers.
Also, yeah.
So Bethesda had, I think they won the award for latest conference of E3.
Oh my goodness!
I looked at the time.
I felt really sorry for the folks on the East Coast, especially.
Oh yeah, I literally did a double take when I looked at the schedule. I was like, I must look. Nope. Oh my gosh.
That is what that says.
So they did a lot of VR.
All right. So VR, they have Skyrim, Fallout, and Doom all coming to VR in some shape or form.
And Fallout VR looks very pretty. Mm-hmm. I would love to see the amount of money so it's going to spend to optimize their PC to run that at full specs on VR, because I think might be a small fortune.
Yeah.
I will say it is a game that seems like it might lend itself pretty well to VR because it's about exploration.
Mm-hmm.
It's got FPS combat, but it's not super fast-paced, hectic combat.
Yeah.
Unlike Doom, I feel like Doom in VR, I might just puke all over my couch.
Well, it's also super busy, whereas with Fallout, a lot of it's very rare, except with like the little mole rats and stuff. Like you might fight a couple of those at a time.
Yeah.
But you're not really gonna have to deal with a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually you're fighting a Deathclaw or 3 or 4 people
at most, and they're not going to be all swarming over you constantly.
Whereas with Doom, you've got lava flying everywhere and demon guts and
I think that being said, I'm not sure the audience for this, to be honest, because I feel like the people who played Fallout 4 have already played Fallout 4, and I'm not convinced that replaying it in VR is going to be enough to motivate people, especially if you have to buy it again.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything about that, and usually when that happens, we tend to presume the worst.
Yep.
But we'll see.
Yep.
And then Link.
So
is it Link or is it a Link costume in the Nintendo Skyrim?
I didn't quite get that as to which one it was,
because I was at first I thought, so they put Link in Skyrim, and then it looked more like a costume, and so
I'm not sure, but either way, with the amiibo, you can play like a Link-like character in Skyrim.
Yeah.
If you did want to play Breath of Wild, which is
that's if you don't want to play Breath of the Wild, there's
something. Yeah. But that being said,
judging.
But no release date for Skyrim on the Switch.
Still.
Unless they'll say even if the Switch conference direct.
That's the Nintendo conference is a little outside of our scope right now. So we'll do that on Twitter, and we'll kind of figure that out there. They also had Elder Scrolls Legends, which is a mobile card game.
I'm really impressed with all these card games coming out all of a sudden.
Okay.
Because you've got this one.
Okay.
You've got the Fable card game coming out. And you also had the Witcher card game come out.
Gwent.
Mm-hmm. This is a lot of card games from 3 series that are pretty close to each other in overall feel.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a very small market for this, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I do understand they're probably cheap to make.
Yeah.
They can't take once you have the fundamental gameplay down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you need to go out and build a massive engine to handle this capabilities.
Right. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Evil Within is launching October, Friday the 13th.
I see what they did.
Do that. Keep doing that.
It looks good. It looks. I mean,
Evil Within is one of the. I like horror if it can actually do something interesting, and Evil Within does rely a bit much on the jump scare, but I feel like that they did kind of bring it forward as far as all that goes, and they did something interesting.
And the one thing I understand, I've never actually played all the way through the original one. My understanding is that, from what I've read online today, based off of what information people know, they all highly recommend you play the original one for this one to make sense, which kind of worries me a little bit. I don't necessarily want to have time to go back and necessarily play Evil Within 1.
Yeah.
We'll see. It could be one of the things, maybe they have a quick prequel section where they fill you up on this, 2 minutes, here's what happened in the last episode. That'd be great if they did.
Everything was awful.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
Oh, and then guess what's coming back?
Pay for mods?
That'd be it. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. So, and it was Skyrim that did that, right? On Steam?
Yep, it was. But that being said, I think that program, Steam managed that program previously, from what I've read. And this time, it sounds like Bethesda is going to be managing that a little bit more on their own. So maybe they'll manage it differently. But I guess it's worth a shot. I guess it's not really. If they already have the network infrastructure, it's not like they're going to be out tons to try this. It's interesting. And then we got Wolfenstein New Colossus, which is coming out October 27th.
Yes.
Which I think was kept secret. I mean, they they purposely leaked it. I mean, they had hints in the previous.
And so we got some new looks at it, and it continues to be.
It looks great.
It continues to show what Wolfenstein is it New Order and Old Blood? Or,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it continues what they did with that, which was impressive, and yeah.
Yeah. I will say overall for Bethesda, when they did the very first conference, what was it, 2 years ago? They did their
whenever Fallout 4 was.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I was like, oh, that's cool. They had, they did. I was in Fallout 4
thing,
and I was like, well, good for them.
Yeah.
One-off thing, right? And then they did last year. I was like, oh, well, wow, they had.
Do they have enough to do that?
Exactly.
And they brought out just they went further into Dishonored 2 and like their.
And then I was like, well, they've already blown the wad at this point.
Yeah.
But here we are. Once again, I think they did a pretty good job. Much better than the EA press conference overall.
And the thing is, it
looked at games.
And the thing is that they don't overstay their welcome, because the Bethesda conference, while super late, was only about quick. 38 minutes or something.
Yeah, right on 40.
And so and that's
all
reasonable.
That's all they needed. They had a handful of games.
Mm-hmm.
They were showing the fact that they are a quality publisher.
Yeah.
And they knew that they didn't build in extra stuff just to take up space, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
Yeah, and then the last of the independent developer conferences was Ubisoft.
Yep.
They talked about the Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle,
which actually looks interesting. I was surprised about.
It definitely looks interesting. I'm not ready to put money down toward that, but again, the other important thing is that I got a point.
That's
because
true.
I said that there was going to be a crossover between Nintendo and Ubisoft, and Miyamoto came out on the Ubisoft stage to talk about it, so I get another point for that. This is one of those. Rabbids are the European Minions.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand Minions.
I will say that they look a little terrifying dressed as Luigi and Princess Peach.
Yeah.
I saw
You're not wrong.
and it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like David Lynch took over Mario.
Yeah. So Ubisoft has also taken the concepts that were put out in Black Flag, which was the ship-to-ship combat.
Yep, the one that everyone loved.
Right, and they've changed that. They've put it almost as it's kind of like a re-release of Sid Meier's Pirates.
Yeah, but
so
with like
just smash those two together, and this comes out.
Yeah, I was super excited until I realized it was potentially online multiplayer. In which case, my excitement went down because Black Flag, I spent 75% of my time in ship battles for absolutely no reason other than I could.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that they recognized that there was an audience for that.
Mm-hmm.
And they went after that audience. Good for them. Because after Assassin's Creed Black Flag, there really hasn't been any other ship battle type stuff like that.
Yeah. And so that's one of the later predictions that they had. Or not, it's not really predictions if you're running the company. It's announcements.
Announcements.
Right. My vocabulary has diminished somewhat. It's kind of late here. And it has been a really busy weekend. But yeah, so they're doing Skull and Bones, but that's not coming out until fall of 2018.
Which that actually surprised me.
Because usually the publishers, the developers, tend to be a little bit better about giving us stuff that we're going to see soon.
Then again, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yeah.
Which they showed again. Reintroduced Beyond Good and Evil 2, which was the second showing of this. I honestly thought this game was dead. No timeline, and I would be surprised if this game comes out, I'm going to say 2019. If it comes out. But, it's a franchise that I give Ubisoft props for, because while the original was a critical success, it was not a financial success.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft is willing to take chances on games, whether it be something like this or Child of Light was kind of that I would still do more of those. Sorry, Kevin.
And they still didn't give me the.
No.
I'm gonna keep predicting it until it comes out.
If you
I am
believe
going to by myself will that game into
it's
existence.
like the Peter Pan thing. If you believe in it, it's going to come into existence.
I clap.
There you go.
Every year for the entire duration of the Ubisoft conference, I just clap to bring that game into existence.
It
hasn't worked so far.
Yeah, but then also we saw more Assassin's Creed, which I think we already covered. It wasn't much. I mean, it looks great. What we said.
They talked a little bit about Fractured Butthole.
Yeah,
and they also said that they're doing a South Park mobile game, which
I'm really curious about this.
Yes, and the most important thing is, does it make my phone make rude noises?
I would presume so.
It
South Park
has to, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't, then they missed that opportunity.
Yeah, and I hope that whenever the phone notifies you, that it has custom like fart noises. Or Cartman swearing at someone.
Or Kenny death sounds.
Yeah.
Not the you killed Kenny, but the actual sound. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. They also did a weird kind of VR thing with it's called Transference, and they introduced it with Elijah Wood, and
that surprised me. I was
quite surprised. And it seems like he's part of kind of helping with development, maybe.
Yeah, I'm confused on that one, to be honest.
It was very strange, but
good for him.
We'll see what it is. They didn't have a release date, platforms, nothing. It was just, this is a horror thing that's going to exist. And you remember this Hobbit?
Yeah. You remember this guy? Remember he was also in Swiss Army Man. No, what? No one saw that. But same guy.
I think of him as a hobbit and a guy that feeds people to dogs.
Yeah, funny story. My dog actually chewed up his cousin's porcelain lipstick in my when we were kids. So that's how I actually think of him is the guy whose cousins my dog attacked the post because my sister was friends with them.
Well, that's fun. So I have what does that make my connection? Fourth degree? Because you got to include the dog.
Yeah. The dog's got to be included because the dog's the one who actually did the demolition of the post because they had flavored lip gloss in the post.
Nom 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 nom.
And delicious.
Yeah,
goes down smooth.
All right. So the last conference that we have covered,
Far Cry 5.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay, that's all you need to know.
I mean, they're continuing to give details. I'm already sold on it. I love the Far Cry games, and so that's another one that if and I know this is somewhat of a disservice to the audience, but if there is more Far Cry 5 information out there,
you can go look it up,
and you can go look it up, because like I feel like that we know what we're getting with Far Cry.
That's true.
Like
I have some curiosities about how they do some stuff, like the hunting and stuff. Are you gonna be killing cows with the people you're trying to protect, that kind of stuff? Or how some of that stuff's gonna function. But
I still feel like Brian Altano on IGN has had the best idea. He said that because like there's kind of a limited range of animals that you can have in Montana.
Very much so.
He said that what you have to do is in like the second or third mission of the story mode, you have to have a zoo nearby
and free all the animals
and free all the animals. Right.
Yeah, I could go with that.
And you know, there's somebody out there that wants to let all the monkeys go, and then you can run around and upgrade your quiver.
Okay, I'd be up for that.
And that's all I want to do.
And I will say I already pre-ordered that game. There's nothing else to show my support for them willing to do something a little bit more controversial with the story.
Yeah.
Because, well, a large chunk of the population is yay. There's enough of them, the population, who is very much right now up in arms about it. And I want to show my financial support for that. I don't pre-order tons of stuff, but this is one. I trust the company. And I want to show the support.
Yeah. I tweeted at him.
Nice.
So I'm like, hey, do you thing, Ubi? All right. So the last conference of the day is Sony's,
which was interesting because the pre-show released some really big stuff, which I was surprised by. So if you had just watched the press conference, you probably missed several big things.
Yeah, because we're watching the IGN stream for a little while. And they did that, and then they at the end of that. Sorry, we're trying to get our version of a teleprompter, which is my phone, set up here. But yeah, what they were doing was boring with IGN, and so we were like, okay, well, what about the official Sony bit? And they had Matterfall and Ni no Kuni, and okay, Super Hot, which was a big ID at Xbox game, is coming to PlayStation VR.
And it looks great.
Yeah.
Ni no Kuni 2.
I was really surprised. Yes.
Sorry. I'm just so excited about it.
Ni no Kuni 2 is coming out November 10th, and I'm going to buy the crap out of that game.
I was not expecting to be out this year. I honestly wasn't.
I feel like they said it was coming out in 2017, but we hadn't seen it since last year.
That being said, it could still be a 2018 game. We just don't know it yet.
Oh,
sorry. That being said, I feel like it's got a good. I'm excited for it. It looks great. If you like Ni no Kuni 1, this is more to love. And my understanding is you don't need to play Ni no Kuni 1 to play Ni no Kuni 2, which is a great way to bring people in.
And that game was super pretty on PS3. I cannot wait to see how pretty it looks on PS4.
I'm all in.
Oh my goodness, yes. And then Matterfall, which is by the people that gave us Resogun and Alien Nation and stuff like that. Matterfall, though, instead of being a twin stick shooter type game, is like a 2D. It reminded me. Did you ever play Velocity or Velocity Ultra? It reminded me very much of that.
I would say that
because like you've got different weapons doing different things, and like you can change surfaces to be reflective or solid or.
It's a twin stick platform and shooting game.
Oh my goodness.
I'm presuming it's twin stick because it's Housemarque, but I appreciate the fact that up to this point they've had two style games, and they alternate between them roughly. Yeah. And this is a new style for them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it, and it's out this summer. I think in August, was it?
August, yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about that one. And then Hidden Agenda is.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, they showed us some gameplay of like people, and it's kind of like the Jackbox game apparently, where you like sign in with your phone and
this is by the team who did Until Dawn.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously after Until Dawn, from there you go to a party game.
Exactly. About serial killers.
Oh yeah. These are two separate ones. Sorry, I was talking about That's You. Hidden Agenda is the game where you go through and you're able to make decisions for the person, but you can
vote on your cell phone.
Yes, and that sounds like so much fun, and I love the idea of being able to go through a crime drama type thing and have audience participation, because that's what they saw people doing with Until Dawn.
Exactly.
They would be streaming it and be like, "What do you want to do?" And they would have polls, and they were like, "Hey, we can actually put that into a game."
And it looks
and
nice.
They did.
Yep. It looks great. It looks really interesting. It looks like be both a fun couch co-op, fun game to stream, and a fun, depending on the length, a fun game for when people come over. The length might be the deal breaker for that.
Yeah,
but you can also play.
You can't do an Until Dawn 10 to 12 hours. Be like, all right, come over Saturday at 8 in the morning
and hunker down.
We will do this, because I mean,
we'll have also some Frosted Flakes that we Tony the Taco didn't get.
Yeah, which is the second mention of Frosted Flakes on this particular podcast.
Point for me.
Oh, that's how you're getting your points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So. Then the other thing that I was talking about a minute ago, same developer, I would assume a different team, but it's called That's You, and like you have people like taking pictures on their cell phones and drawing over them and trying to do creative things. So it seems like a mix of several different Jackbox games, and then Pictionary and
they had some like voting games too, like who of your group of friends or people playing would be most likely to do X, type in bills and questions that, the young whippersnappers like.
Yeah.
It actually looks pretty family friendly, actually. Well, depending on people.
It's family friendly until my friends get in on it.
Well, yeah. It has family friendly with potential to go the other direction.
Yes.
Depending on alcohol involvement.
Absolutely. So that was pretty cool. That looks fun. I'll probably buy that, and we'll stream it at some point.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yes, I was also. You were here. Okay, so Undertale. They're like, oh, Undertale's coming to console. It's coming on PS4, and I was like, there's no reason that can't be on Vita. Why aren't they giving me that on Vita? I just wished
the last second.
And coming to Vita, and I was like, yes. It's coming to Vita. I'm gonna play it.
And I'm over the like physical copy. Yeah.
Exactly. We have our own edition. So yeah, Undertale is coming to PS4 and it's coming to freaking Vita, and that makes me really excited.
No release date, which makes me presume it's gonna be next year sometime, but that's cool. I'm fine with that.
When it gets here, I will play it.
Yep. And I'd like to point out everything up to this point was in the pre-show. We have not got to the actual press conference yet.
Yeah, all of this was just stuff that they and if you were watching a different stream other than the official PlayStation stream, you might not have known this stuff. Yeah. Or if you weren't watching our channel, because we give you the news that we care about, because we've skipped over some stuff that we didn't care about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Horizon DLC, single player DLC. It's called the Frozen Wilds or the Frozen Wastes, something like that.
Yeah.
It's
great.
Definitely frozen.
It's Minnesotish.
Minnesotish? I didn't know that was an adjective.
It is now.
All right.
You're welcome.
So that's going to be frozen, and it'll be interesting to see, because I haven't beaten the main story yet. So I'm hoping to do that soon. But this is definitely something I'll pick up because
I'm hoping it'll be standalone.
Okay.
Because the one thing that's always, it'd be nice that you don't. That way, everyone's on the same footing when they go into this section. You don't have to worry about, price of equipment calcs a little differently because sorry. Or somehow give the opportunity immediately to pick up some equipment to level set it potentially. Yeah. And also for those of us who may not have finished it in time for this, we don't have to then be like, well, the heck is this DLC? I've got to go. Oh, I haven't even cleared that half of the map yet. Yeah. Yeah. It looks great though. It's a great game. It's all DLC.
It really does, and I like. I've really enjoyed the characters that I've met so far. Like I feel like they're doing a good job of fleshing out not only the main protagonist and antagonist and like the mentor character from the beginning, but I feel like just about everybody I meet is well fleshed out. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to having more characters to meet.
Yeah, totally.
And figuring out more of the lore of the series because
this will be very story heavy, which is great. Yeah. And then also speaking of story heavy, Uncharted expansion also announced as same time. Looks great.
Well, this is Lost Legacy. So
Lost Legacy.
This is the same one that they talked about before.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Announced as they showed more stuff. Right. And it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna buy it. That's all I need. I don't need anything else at this point.
Yeah. So Uncharted, the puzzles for whatever reason have never grabbed me. Like I'll get into a room, I'll get stuck, I'll be like, I don't know what to do. Oh, I know what to do. I can eject the disc. Like I
close the application.
I run into puzzles. I run into puzzles and I'm out. But this looks very interesting and it's standalone. I really like the interplay between the two female leads, and I don't even know which one you're playing as.
Yeah, I don't even.
So yeah, we'll see. But there's definitely some friction between them where I feel like between Sully and Nate there was more of the gruff we're manly men and whatever, and I feel like these characters are less pulp, more interesting.
Yeah, I think
they seem more real.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't have the constraints of what they've already done. I love the Uncharted series, but Nathan Drake had already been defined what his character was and what the mood was.
And you can only go so far within that
exactly.
Those limitations.
And now you got these two characters which were introduced. They've been in other Uncharted games, but you had the opportunity to make them stand out, give them a more realistic, grounded. As much as you can, I'm sure they'll still kill 100 people, but
absolutely, it's what they do.
It is.
And they also talked about, speaking of long-running PlayStation franchises, Gran Turismo Sport, which is still coming out this fall.
It looks great.
It's so pretty. And they said that on the PS4 Pro that they're going to be able to run it at 4K and 60 frames per second, which I believe because Polyphony has always been able to pull the most out of a Sony console.
And don't get me wrong, I love Naughty Dog, but they know those specs. They know how to tweak stuff. They got their engine down. Yeah. And I believe it's actually going to come out on time, simply because it's already been pushed. And you've got the Xbox X with Forza. And I feel like this is the counterpart to that. You've got Xbox X showing off, look how beautiful Forza looks. And you got Sony saying, look at our PS4 Pro and how pretty Gran Turismo looks. And they need that. It's a niche audience. Yeah. But it's a very dedicated niche audience.
Very dedicated. And Gran Turismo 4 was the best-selling game on PS3. Yeah. And it's pretty, it's beautiful. And so...
And this one's going to be... it looks fantastic. And the nice thing is, this is well, it's not my type of game, so I'm not going to pre-order it. This is one of the divisions of Sony that delivers games finished. Yeah. They deliver solid games. They're ready to go.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. I'll probably sit back and watch gameplay of that.
And I'll look forward to the Frosted Flakes DLC.
And there we go. All right, so we have a couple of games coming out in early 2018 that were huge surprises for me. Because,
I didn't see any of these coming.
Yeah, because Monster Hunter Worlds, which I saw it and I was like, hey, that looks like Monster Hunter.
Wait, it is Monster Hunter.
Those are Monster Hunter mechanics. This is a monster, and it was a lot of fun to sit here and watch because like I've played a little bit of those games, but I've never had like a crew to run with, and so I feel like that having I have a lot more friends that actually play on PlayStation now.
Yeah.
And connection is easier and all that kind of stuff. And my favorite part was cooking though. Like when you turn the stick and wait until it's like the opposite of a Jack in the Box, because you're listening to the music and then like right as it changes color, then you snatch it away before it burns. Which I'm way better at cooking in Monster Hunter than I am in real life.
And we should point out this will be coming to Xbox and Windows
also
as well.
coming to
Well,
so
Steam. Whatever.
Everybody gets to same thing. Yeah. Everybody gets to play Monster Hunter.
Now, what I did find interesting was, unless they're saving it for the Nintendo conference, no Switch.
Yeah.
Because Monster Hunter World began on PlayStation. They really migrated and really got a foot in. Well, not foot in. That's not really fair. PSP was huge for it.
Yeah.
But it's been a Nintendo, around a Nintendo a lot. I feel like that's really where they've been getting the money lately.
There were at least one or two on Xbox too. So Monster Hunter's been around the block.
Yeah, that Monster's been around a little bit.
Yeah.
But I am a little surprised because I felt like this would be a great opportunity for the Switch. But we'll see. But that being said, we have not had the Switch conference, and I also believe that maybe some companies have held back on some Switch stuff, and it was you didn't know how it's going to do.
And we don't actually know a lot about it.
Oh, but 3DS version.
Monster Hunter World. Oh god. But Monster Hunter World sounds like it's going to be a much bigger,
that's
more
what I
expanded.
thought. Yeah, it's either going to be like a lot like a not an MMO but MMO-ish.
Yeah.
Or something more like a Skyrim or something more. Monster Hunter's always been, like you said, always open. But maybe this is going to be much more like a Skyrim or Breath of the Wild, much more open experience.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. And then it was another one that I actually had kind of a similar monologue going with it.
Yeah,
it was
because
like,
I think we're like, that looks like an Eco or Shadow game.
Yeah.
And
but they were working on Last Guardian, and then I was like, wait a minute, Blue Point, where do I know that name?
Yep.
Wait, that's the Redo Studio. This is actually Shadow of... And it looks so pretty.
It looks like it's been built from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because it's not a... Oh, here's a upscale version.
They already did an upscale version for PS3.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a re-upscale or anything.
This is like a full-on remake. And it is super pretty, and that's... Shadow of the Colossus remains one of the games that you hear developers talking about as like, I saw this game and that was when I knew I wanted to make games. Miyazaki of From Software, and he's the one who does Dark Souls. He says that that if it had not been for the game Shadow of the Colossus, he would still be in accounting. So thank you, Shadow of the Colossus.
That explains his games. Accounting. Yep. I could. Yep. Now it makes sense.
Accounting plus Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, makes so much sense now.
Plus blood and pain and sweat and tears.
Well, yeah, accounting.
Right. Got it.
Yeah. I presume he did for the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And one thing with Shadow of the Colossus when it came out, and if he had the sense of scale, not many games are really not in the sense of the scale of the world, because you got games with the world's huge now. Yeah. But the actual occupants of it, the bosses, the physical size of them, that was just awe-inspiring. And the original one,
when you come around a corner and you see the monster, and then you look up and you keep looking up, and you keep and it's just
Yeah.
It's
And I'm really excited to see that redone and remastered
absolutely
and hopefully 4K. And I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And
Blue Point is also consistently amazing with the ports.
Yep.
So when this comes out, it's another game that we can confidently say this is going to be great.
Yep.
And so I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, I am too.
They had a section on VR, and I went to the bathroom and made the bed and tidied up a little bit.
They had some VR stuff. I will say that at least they were showing some stuff, and some of the stuff is coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed something. I don't think this is what they needed, though. I felt like they needed.
I do feel like it's important for them to, because PlayStation VR is the first one that's come out and said, hey, we sold 1 million units. And I feel like if anybody else had sold 1 million units, they would have said something by now.
Yep.
And so PlayStation VR is currently where VR is at.
Yeah.
And so...
and they have games come out. I mean, they're trickling out. But
they've been trickling out without fanfare.
Exactly.
And people who are playing VR need to be able to look forward and be like, okay, I've enjoyed these experiences that I've had. Mm-hmm. This is what's coming next. And that's important, because in order to manage that ecosystem and keep it going, they needed to have something like this. So I feel like that was important. The only one that
they did announce Skyrim will be on PS4 VR, which is a big game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the audience for this, because I feel like most people have already played Skyrim either on the PS3 or just played the last two when they had the remaster come out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how many times you can dip back into that pond and keep hoping to get some money out of it. But they did not state if you bought the remaster last year, would that be VR, or do you have to buy it again? They didn't say that, which makes me a little nervous. I think it'd be
that would feel kind of dirty if they were going to try to charge you again for it.
But who knows? We'll find out.
And then they had they had talked a little bit about Final Fantasy 15 in the VR bits.
Well, they
Prompto
showed
taking selfies and stuff.
They showed what we've been waiting for this Final Fantasy 15. Hold your breath, guys. This is exciting news. Final Fantasy 15 Fission. That's right. It's getting its own game. I know that's what the people have been asking for. This is what people have been writing letters and petitions to Square Enix saying, put Kingdom Hearts 3 on hold, please. Final Fantasy 7 remake? No. Dragon
Give
Quest?
Give us a VR fishing game.
Dragon Quest, slow down on that. We want our resources on a fishing game, please.
I
believe it's a VR fishing game.
It is a VR fishing game.
Because otherwise, it's not really the sense of fishing in Final Fantasy unless it's in VR.
Right. So that's called Monster of the Deep, and I don't know. I don't know. I have no words.
I really hope this was like someone's pet project and they cost Square Enix like $50 to do, and they're gonna just put it out though.
I don't know, maybe. And then the last little bit is Bravo Team, which is a first-person shooter in VR, and Inpatient, which is a sanatorium exploration horror. I presume it's horror. They didn't show us any of the scary bits except for a doctor right in your face.
Yeah, if that's not supposed to be a whole game, then that's the biggest haha.
That would be crazy. Like if they pulled a Gone Home and like you go through the entire sanatorium and nothing ever jumps out at you, but you know it was about to.
Yeah. Now what makes me nervous is both of those are also by the
Until Dawn team.
Massive, So that's 3 games by them that were revealed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they did finish Rush of Blood, so clearly they have all kinds of time now.
Exactly. They're not, granted, the VR games, we don't know how long they are, because usually they're solo experiences, and it's easier is not the right word. It might take less resources once you have the engine built and stuff, maybe to do it.
Yeah.
But they also already have an engine built.
Yeah, and if they have an engine that's working, and that's one of the interesting things, because Rush of Blood was on rails.
Yes, it was.
And the sanatorium one, the inpatient, might be something similar.
Yeah,
and
they can take that engine and tweak it a little bit, and
it's possible.
Because if you're going on corridors, that's pretty close to rails at that point.
Yeah. So those are the conferences and our updates so far on E3.
Detroit. Still no release date, just so you guys know. Yeah, it looks good.
Detroit Become Human continues to look good and continues to look like something I'm gonna.
If you want the story spoiled for you, go watch the trailer, because I think you did the right thing. You got us and left the room.
Yep.
They showed way more of the actual story than they've done up to this point. Potentially a little bit too much. Doing that. Especially since if they didn't give a release date, that tells me it's 2019. Because everything else, they gave release dates, either release dates or release windows for anything that's coming out. Oh, God of War. Spring 2018, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
Well, they said only 2018, I think. So they said...
right.
Yeah, so probably January, February-ish. But once again, even that, they gave release dates or release windows for everything that's coming out. Then once they didn't, it's safe to presume that means it's a 2019 game?
Yeah.
Potentially.
Did they have a release date for Spider-Man?
They did not. They did in Spider-Man. It looks fantastic.
They did Spider-Man gameplay, and it when we saw the demo or the trailer teaser.
Oh, listen, that one they said. If they did, it might have been late 2018. Something was stuck in my head for late 2018.
So I'll look that up, and you tell them about the gameplay.
So gameplay is exactly what you would want it to be. The going through the city, swinging through the city. Looks like it'll feel like you're actually Spider-Man. The way he moves, the way he takes down enemies, it's got some comedy in those, some whippy remarks here and there.
His smack talk is the best.
It is fantastic looking.
Okay, so Spider-Man is going to be out in 2018.
Okay,
so we do have a date-ish.
Yeah, so I would say, even though Sony lately has not done lots of winter releases, they've been piling lots of stuff into spring, and I presume that's because with those strong partnerships with Activision and such, they'll let them have the winter.
Yeah.
And to be honest, some of the first-party games might actually have trouble going up against Call of Duty, Battlefield, Battlefront.
Yeah,
but Spider-Man,
it's a lot.
Spider-Man
of fun.
could.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, Spider-Man can. Whatever Spider-Man can. But yeah, like it looks so good, and like I was saying earlier, when we saw the teaser, it was like, yeah, that looks cool. What does gameplay look like?
And
this was gameplay, and that's what it looks like. Yeah. Because Insomniac are gods when it comes to pulling. Them and Polyphony and Naughty Dog have been working with PlayStation for so long that they're able to pull amazing things out of these consoles.
And the combat looks Batman inspired, but still definitely
Arkham-ish, and
still different.
And there was also a lot of like environmental hits and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's the great thing.
That looks like so much fun.
There was a whole section where essentially he just was going through and silently taking down people before he actually got to the actual fight. Yeah. And that was a combination of using web to attack him and
whipping around,
using the web to subdue them. And even grabbing stuff in the environment and using that to knock out people. Yeah. And then got the actual big battle going.
That game is going to rule my world come 2018. So that's what happened this weekend for E3 2017. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited about that's coming out this year, what's coming out next year.
Yep.
So what was kind of your favorite thing that you learned over the last couple of days?
I would have to say that God of War is actually coming out in early 2018. I honestly felt like that was going to be a 2019 game at least.
Yeah.
That's probably the one of my favorite things. There was a lot of stuff. Like They'll really,
yeah, we're still processing this because like we finished watching it and then turned around and started recording.
I will say that there hasn't been any bad conferences. EA wasn't necessarily my favorite, but for an EA conference, it was good. It was an average conference, and I understand EA's issue with they have a lot of variety.
Yeah.
And they have to appeal to a wide variety of audiences.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I thought Ubisoft and Bethesda did a fantastic job. And Microsoft did a fantastic job overall. I think Microsoft was a little bit long, but not much. Sony wins the award, in my opinion, for the most atmospheric conference.
Yeah, they apparently were like snowing.
It was snowing.
It was snowing at one point. They did fireworks.
They had
flames.
They had
live
fog
music.
machine with like lighting effects to make like those waves in the audience.
Yeah.
I would say do yourselves a favor and watch the initial 5 minutes where they have a kind of like a mid-eastern music group out the plane with like a sand sculpture
with a waterfall
of sand. I think it
thing.
was.
Was it sand?
I think it looks like sand.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was pretty nifty looking.
But all of them did good. Sony was probably my favorite conference of them.
Sony has figured out press conferences.
They have. I will give credit to Microsoft though for having to introduce a new console and had 40 some games to go through.
Yeah.
They did a good job. Of those 40 games, about 20 of them were throwaway. They were which, but granted,
honestly, for games, that's not a bad ratio.
No, that's not. And I'll give them credit for trying because they're the underdogs right now. They're doing a good job. Nintendo, I guess we'll see what happens with the Nintendo Direct.
Yep.
But I think overall, it's been a pretty solid E3.
Yeah. Mine is Undertale on Vita.
Yeah.
Because that was the sole mention of Vita. But hey, it's the one I wanted more than anyone else.
It's the one you wanted. Yeah.
And it's the only one I complained about literal seconds before they told me that it was going to be okay.
Yeah. But overall, it was a fantastic conference. Actually, the fact that Ori got a sequel, I'm actually pretty hyped for.
Yeah.
I have no idea how well that game did financially, but obviously they're good enough, and I'm really glad to see Microsoft is willing to put money into a smaller title that's a little bit more away from the target demographic necessarily, or what the demographic used to be.
Definitely farther from their stereotypical demographic.
Yeah,
anyway.
I feel like those demographics are changing, and they'll begin to realize that, and they're going after it. I really appreciate that they'll put in money into some other projects. The one we didn't talk about, I guess, was the rail pirate game.
Oh, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
What do you?
I'm not sold on it yet.
I don't know because like what I've seen so far looks like things that I want to watch other people play.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very much kind of it's kind of a D&D thing where if you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like people who are ready to swashbuckle will be able to get their swashbuckle on.
I'm happy that Real looks like they finally given free reign to go off and do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they probably did something that if that's your game style, I think looks like it might be great.
Yeah. Not
for me. But I appreciate, I guess, the attempt.
Yeah.
But
So that's what we got for today, and we will see you next week.
Have a good night.
Click.